Hi everyone, bienvenidos a un nuevo en vivo. ¿Cómo están todos? Espero que estén muy bien. Today we are going to learn some important things about one of the most common Spanish verb, gustar. And we're going to learn how to use this verb, different ways to use this verb. And in general, we will talk about the usage of this verb, and it's going to be very interesting because this verb can be challenging. Okay? Before we get started, don't forget to subscribe and also click on the bell icon so you can get notified every time I live stream. And by the way, you can use the live chat if you want to ask questions or if you want to say hola. And you have to be subscribed in order to use the live chat. So if you're not subscribed yet, please do that so you can interact with me. And also, I want to give a big shout out to our members, to our Cafecito members, Christopher Michael, Raymond Sather, William Lopez, David Beaver, and KS. Thank you guys for the support. Thank you so much for the coffee. And if you want to support this channel, you can do that as well just by clicking on the join button down below. You can check out the Cafecito membership. Essentially, you're just buying me coffee, just a cup of coffee. I think the membership is like less than $3. So yeah, just check that out if you like what I do. And if you want to support this channel, you can do that, of course. Another way to support this channel is by giving the thumbs up. And yeah. Okay, so remember that we are also, or that we have a Spanish community on Discord. If you're interested in that, just find the link to join for free in the video description down below. Okay, so I see someone on the live chat, Joshua Espina. Buenos días a todos. Buenos días, Joshua. Welcome, Joshua. Yeah. Okay, yeah, welcome. Okay, so let's get started. This is going to be a good lesson. By the way, well, I mean, I'm trying to do great lessons or have great lessons, but this one is special because gustar is a very important verb, and we're not going to talk about the conjugation, but this is part one. This is going to be part one, and we will have another video after this live stream, or another live stream explaining or going over the conjugation of the verb gustar. Today, we are just going to learn about the verb and how to use it, okay? So, yes, mastering the verb gustar. Gustar. This is part one, as I said before. And, well, what does it mean? Gustar means to like, okay? To like anything that you may like. Could be things, it could be hobbies, it could be people. So, yeah, it's very similar to the English verb to like. That's the literal translation of gustar. Gustar. Now, you will likely use only two conjugated forms of gustar, okay? So just two conjugated forms. I know there's like more, but today we are going to talk about present time only, okay? So present time, we're not talking about period or future tenses, just present tense. Sorry, present tense. Did I say time? Sorry, in Spanish it's time, tiempo presente. I know in English it's present tense. Okay, so yeah, just present tense. The two conjugated forms that you need to know are gusta, okay, this one right here, gusta, is used when you have singular nouns and for actions as well, or verbs. Okay, if you're talking about, I don't know, if you like running, then you can use gusta for that. Okay, you should use gusta for that. If you're talking about hobbies, if you're talking about singular nouns, you need gusta. Okay, and the second conjugated form is gustan. Gustan is plural. Okay, it's used for plural nouns. Okay, we're not talking about actions, we're not talking about singular nouns, we're talking about plural nouns. Okay, so free spirit, hola. Hola, free spirit, bienvenido. Okay, or bienvenida. Yeah, okay. So those are very commonly, those conjugated forms are pretty much the ones that you need. Of course, there's exceptions. One main exception, and we will talk about that in a second. But yeah, just remember that because we're gonna use that a lot. Okay, so this verb, gustar, works differently than other Spanish verbs, okay? You need the following structure. And now we're talking about sentences, okay? Usually when you use any verb in Spanish, for example, caminar, to walk, you say yo camino, I walk. Tú caminas, you walk, and so on, okay? And when you're using gustar, you cannot say yo gusto. Yo gusto sounds a little bit weird. So this verb is used differently in Spanish. Of course, you need a specific sentence structure. And the structure is, first, you need an indirect object pronoun. Okay? So if you don't know about indirect object pronouns, I think you should watch my previous lesson about that specifically. And it's one of the newest live streams. So if you can browse, or if you want to browse my channel, you will find a lesson about indirect object pronouns. And I really recommend you watching that because it's important. So yeah, indirect object pronoun. That's the first thing you need. And then you need the verb gustar. And then you need a noun or an action. Okay? Noun, it could be nouns as well, plural, singular, or an action. For example, you could say me, that means I, okay? In this situation, it's similar to I. Me gusta, I like, la película, the movie, okay? So this is an indirect object pronoun. This is the verb gustar, and we're using one of the common conjugated forms of the verb gusta, okay, for singular nouns, because we're talking about a movie, and the movie is the noun. And if the noun is singular, then you need to use gusta, okay? So that's important. These two things need to make sense. If this one is singular, then this has to be, the conjugated form has to be gusta. Gusta la película. Me gusta la película. I like the movie. So that's how it works. You need an indirect object pronoun. Then you need the verb gustar. And then you add a noun or an action. Okay, so this is important. You need to follow this sentence structure, because if you don't follow it, it's not gonna make sense. And I know that I've said before that pronouns are not commonly said multiple times in Spanish, But in this situation, you need the indirect object pronoun. That's mandatory. You always need an indirect object pronoun when using the verb gustar. So you need to follow this. You have to have this pronoun. You have to, you're using the verb gustar, and then you need a noun or an action. So that's good to know. That's good to know. Okay, now let's move on. There's a different sentence structure that you can also use. It's a bit more complicated. This is like the basic one, the one that you must know, okay? There is another one, and this one is when you want to be more specific, okay? Because sometimes you say the indirect object pronoun, but then you may need more information about, okay, tell me exactly who you're talking about, okay? For example, le is an indirect object pronoun, but that pronoun can be used with other prepositional pronouns like él or ella. Él le gusta something. Ella le gusta something. So they share the indirect object pronoun, le. So if you want to be more specific, then you need something at the beginning of the sentence, like the preposition a. I don't know why I'm moving my hands too much, but you need a preposition, and then you need a prepositional pronoun or a name, okay? A, in this case, after that, you need an indirect object pronoun, and then the verb gustar, and then a noun or an action. So essentially, we're just adding this. This. You know already this part, but we're just adding this other part, okay? And this is, guys, if you want to be more specific, if you want to say a name, if you want to say he, she, or a different prepositional pronoun. By the way, we're going to have a lesson about prepositional pronouns. It's pretty easy, pretty easy. But for now, just keep that in mind, that you need a prepositional pronoun or name, indirect object pronoun, gustar, and then a noun/action. I know it can be tricky, it can be very complicated, but it's not impossible. Let's look at an example. Let's see how it works, okay? A, me, you're essentially saying, in English will be like saying I, okay? A mí, but the literal translation is more like to me, okay? A mí. And then we have the indirect, as I said before, this is the preposition. This is the prepositional pronoun, a mí. That means I. Then we add the indirect object pronoun, me. A mí, me. And essentially you keep saying I. I know it's very, very, very complicated sometimes. A mí me gustan like los gatos. Okay? Cats. And we're saying gustan because we're talking about cats, plural. Okay? The previous example was using gusta because we were talking about a movie, one movie. Now we're using gustan because we're talking about cats, more than one cat. Okay? A mí me gustan los gatos. I like cats. You could also say me gustan los gatos, like just this part, of course. And that's perfectly fine. But sometimes people can say, Spanish speakers can say, a mí me gustan los gatos. So essentially, they're just adding more information, or like saying that, this person really likes cats. Just adding more information to this sentence. In this situation, I. Okay? So this is another structure. It's a bit more complicated, and you need to practice a lot if you want to master this structure. Of course, you need to know all the prepositional pronouns and, names as well. We're going to practice at the end of this lesson, so stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Okay, so the other thing, that I wanted to talk about is when talking or when using gustar in a specific situation. For example, you like someone, okay? You like a girl, you like a guy, you want to say, hey, I like you, right? In that situation, you need to use gustas, okay? Gustas. And previously we said gusta and gustan, right? Present tense. And this is also present tense. And we are specifically talking about liking someone, okay? For example, you could say, tú me gustas. That means I like you, okay? So if we follow the other structure, it would sound a little bit weird. So you need to keep in mind that you need gustas if you're talking about liking someone. So this is a very common sentence to say in Spanish. Tú me gustas. Sometimes people say me gustas, just like that. And it means the same thing. Me gustas. I like you. Okay? Or tú me gustas. So here's another example. This is a different one. We're talking about somebody else, okay? Two different people. A Miguel le gusta María. Okay? So if we're talking about somebody else, then you can follow the structure that we were talking about. This structure is the second one, where we used the preposition, a name in this case, instead of a prepositional pronoun. And then we have the indirect object pronoun, gusta in this situation. And we have a noun or a name, María, okay? A Miguel le gusta María. Miguel likes María, okay? So, whoa, it gets tricky. I know, it's very, very, very tricky. So, just keep that in mind if you're talking about you liking someone, then you need gustas, okay? So, specifically, if you're saying to someone, I like you, okay? Tú me gustas. Okay, now the last thing, guys, is just practice. Just practice, and before we do that, we're going to just go over all the prepositional pronouns. Then also we will talk about no, the negative or negation that you can say or use in Spanish. Also the indirect object pronouns and the verb gustar. And then we have, nouns or infinitive verbs. Okay, let's just break this down. What am I talking about? Okay, so we have the preposition a. So that doesn't change, stays the same. A, okay? Then we have the prepositional pronouns. And that means just their pronouns that have a preposition before them. Okay, so that's what this is about. And they're very similar to the personal pronouns, yo, tú, él, nosotros, ustedes, ellos, vosotros, and so on. The only difference is that the first two are different. Okay, so me with an accent mark, you're referring to you. Okay, so it's like saying I or me. Ti is referring to tú, okay? But it's a prepositional pronoun. A mí, a ti, okay? Then the rest are the same as the personal pronouns. I believe they're called subject pronouns. Or personal pronouns. So that's él, that means he, ella, she refers to she or her. Usted, you, singular and formal. Nosotros or nosotras, we. Vosotros or vosotras, you, plural and used in Spain. And I am missing an S here, sorry about that. Then we have ellos, ellas, and ustedes. That means ellos, they, masculine. Ellas, they, feminine. Then we have ustedes. So that is you, plural. And that one is similar to vosotros, but ustedes is used in Latin America. Okay, vosotros in Spain, ustedes in Latin America. And those, my friends, are the prepositional pronouns. So you could say a mí, a ti, a él, a ella, a usted, a nosotros, a nosotras, a vosotros, a vosotras, a ellos, a ellas, a ustedes. So I was reading the preposition and then the pronoun, okay, that we need, the prepositional pronoun. Okay, so that is the first part of the sentence. Then you may have a situation where you want to say that you don't like something, okay? And if you don't like something, then you need to add no. No means I don't or no, okay? But in this situation is similar to don't. I don't. He doesn't. She doesn't. We don't. Okay? So you need the first part. And if you want to say that you don't like something, then you need no right after. Okay? Then we need an indirect object pronoun. So that's me, te, le, nos, os, or les. Me, well, you need to make sense here, right? If you say a mí, you need me. A mí, me. Or a ti, te. Okay, so that's like you need to have those specifically if you're using certain pronouns or prepositional pronouns. This one, le, can be used with él, ella, and usted. Okay? A él, le. A ella, le. A nosotros, well, that's a different one, sorry. A él, ella, or usted, le. Okay? So you need le if you're using él, ella, and usted. Now, what if you use nosotros? A nosotros or a nosotras, nos. Okay? A nosotros, nos. A nosotras, nos. Now, I need water. 1 second. Free Spirit says, me gustan los ejemplos. Right. You're using gustar in that sentence, so that's perfect. And yeah, but I'm glad you're liking the examples. Okay. A vosotros or vosotras, os. Okay, so you need those two pronouns. And we have a, ellos, ellas, or ustedes, les. Okay, so you need to match everything correctly. A ellos, les. A ellas, les. A ustedes, les. Okay, so now the next thing you need is the verb gustar. And remember that you need to pay attention to what you're talking about. Are you talking about one singular, a singular noun? Or are you talking about an action or an infinitive verb? Okay, so just make that clear. Right, so what are we talking about? And then if you use nouns, more than one, then you need gusta. If it's singular, you know already that you need gusta, okay? So pay attention to these two. And then if you use more than one noun, then you need gustan, okay? So forget about the beginning. You need to pay attention to this part when using gusta or gustan, okay? So just keep that in mind, of course. And remember that, well, gusta, singular nouns, infinitive verbs or verb, you know, that means, for example, the verb that hasn't been conjugated. For example, comer, caminar. Oops, caminar. The first one is to eat, to walk, okay? So that's the literal translation. But if you like running, you don't say, well, you can say I like to run, but it's commonly said I like running, right? But in Spanish, you need an infinitive verb. So that means caminar, correr, pintar. So it's just a unconjugated verb. Okay, so now let's see. Let's practice. Let's practice. I'm just going to erase all of this. Let's just get rid of this. We don't need it. Now, let's just say, let's use the first part of the whole thing. So it will be something like a. Okay, so that's the beginning of your sentence. A. And then I'm going to use me. A mí. So I'm talking about something that I like. A mí, me. Okay, so far so good. That's what we need. A mí, me. And I'm going to talk about an action. Okay, so let's see. Gusta, because actions, when you talk about actions, you need gusta. A mí me gusta. What do I like? A mí me gusta comprar. No, let's just use a different one. Caminar. Let's keep it simple. A mí me gusta caminar. Then, of course, you can add anything else. For example, every morning. I like walking every morning. I like to walk or walking cada mañana. Oops. What happened? Okay, that's better. So I'm saying I like walking or to walk every morning. Okay, so I pretty much used the first part. So the preposition, then this one here, then this, and then I'm talking about an action. So I use gusta. And then, well, the infinitive verb, that is this one right here, caminar. Okay, a mí me gusta caminar, and then I added something else. So another detail. Cada mañana, every morning. So that's what it means. A mí me gusta caminar cada mañana. You could also say, me gusta caminar cada mañana. I like walking every morning. Okay? So that's correct. Either way, this way you just say more details. You're just saying more, adding more details to the sentence. Specifically, that helps when you use any of these prepositional pronouns because they're sharing le. Okay, so if you want to be more specific, then you need the preposition, the pronoun, and then the rest. So yeah, just like we have here. A mí, a ti, a él, a ella. Okay, so I see Navin Prasad Dakal, mi profesora de español en la universidad es de Chile. ¿Dónde es usted? Welcome, Nabi Prasad. Okay. So your Spanish teacher is okay, so she's from Chile, so that's great. ¿Y dónde es usted? I live in Canada. I live in Canada and I'm Mexican. I'm Mexican. So, yeah. Mexico. Okay. So, yeah, welcome Navin Prasad. Now, let's just do the next one. Let's just do another one. You can share examples if you want. You're welcome to do so. So, please. Okay, so let's say, I want to say a ti. I believe ti doesn't need an accent mark. I think so, a ti. I think it doesn't need an accent mark. Just let me double check really quickly. Yeah, it doesn't need an accent mark. Sorry about that, guys. That one needs an accent mark, but this one doesn't need an accent mark. So a ti, so that means we're talking about you, okay? A ti, and I'm gonna do this negative. A ti no te gustan. Let's use gustan. Las cebollas. Okay? Why not? A ti no te gustan las cebollas. And this means you don't like onions. And once again, we're doing the second one. We have the same preposition a, and then we're using ti. And then we're using no, te, and because we're saying onions, more than one onion, then we need to use gustan, and then because we're talking, then the nouns, okay? So gustan, and then the nouns. A ti no te gustan las cebollas, okay? You could say also la cebolla, of course. You don't like onion, right? You just need to change the last part of the sentence. Gusta la cebolla. Either way, you're just using a singular noun, plural noun. So you can do either one. Okay. A ti no te gustan las cebollas. And that means you don't like onions, right? So now let's just do the next one. And this one is negative, so we use the word no. Let's just do one out of the three of these pronouns. A él, or let's say ella. A ella le gusta, let's say gusta, what can it be? Le gusta, a noun. Can you tell me a noun? So Free Spirit says, a mí me gusta aprender español con ella. Great. Great example. It's perfect. It's perfect. A ella le gusta, let's say la pizza. Let's keep talking about food. A ella le gusta la pizza. Okay? So you're saying she likes pizza. A ella le gusta la pizza. Remember, guys, that when I'm saying noun or nouns, we need this definite article. El, la, las, los. Okay? Or indefinite articles, un, una, unos, unas. Okay? So this is pretty much the definite article, la. In this situation, well, it's feminine because pizza is feminine in Spanish. So that's another story. But of course, in between gusta and noun or nouns, you need an article. Okay? Definite article, indefinite article. So just keep that in mind. Okay, let's just do the next one. Essentially, you can change this if you want to talk about he. A él le gusta la pizza. He likes pizza. Okay, so it's the same thing. Or a usted le gusta la pizza. Same thing. Well, not same thing. You're saying you like pizza, but you're saying it in a formal way, okay? Usted means you, and it's formal. Singular you. Now, the next one, a nosotros. Let's say a nosotros. Let's change this a little bit. A nosotros nos gusta leer, okay? And let's add libros, leer libros. In this situation, you don't need a definite article here because it's a vague idea, okay? So you're not saying which books you like specifically. You're just saying that you like reading books, any book, okay? So a nosotros, that means we, no, nos gusta or gusta in this situation, nos gustan. No, nos gusta, sorry. I got confused for a second because we have libros, but then we have an action, an infinitive verb before. So you need gusta. I forget about that for a second. A nosotros, nos, that means we, gusta, like, leer, that's the action, the infinitive verb, reading, libros, books. Okay, so this one is tricky because we have a plural noun, or we have nouns, right? We have, plural noun. And, but before that, we have an infinitive verb, which is leer. So therefore, you need gusta. Okay, so we need gusta. This is the verb. And then this is a plural noun. So yeah, it can get tricky. Okay, so you can change this to nosotras, and it's the same thing. We, but feminine, nosotros, masculine, nosotras, feminine. And the next one, a vosotros, vosotros, os gusta what can we say? What can we say? A vosotros os gusta I need an infinitive verb or a noun. So let's just say trabajar. It's an odd sentence, but it's grammatically correct. So this means a vosotros os means we in Spain, remember. Okay? Oh no, vosotros is you plural, sorry. You plural and used in Spain, a vosotros os, and then gusta, like, trabajar, to work. You like working or you like to work, okay? So same thing. Essentially, you're just saying that you guys like to work a lot or just working in general. I mean, I know it's odd, but it's grammatically correct, okay? So remember, this can be used in Spain specifically. Then the next one is ellos, ellas, or ustedes. And let's just keep the same example and let's just change this. Ellos, a ellos. And let's be negative for a second. A ellos no les gusta trabajar. Okay? A ellos no les gusta trabajar, and that means they don't like working. Okay, so once again, I forgot to match here what I'm saying, but essentially you just need to do the same thing as I did before. Just keep in mind that if you're using this any prepositional pronoun, you need to match the correct the indirect object pronoun. Okay. So in this situation, les. Ellos, les. A ellos, no. In this situation, we're using a negative sentence. Les gusta trabajar. Okay? And this whole part means they. But if you add the no, don't, they don't like working. Okay? Or to work. Oops, what am I doing? Oh my. There you go. Okay. So, yes. And essentially, you can change this to feminine. Ellos is masculine, ellas is feminine. A ellas no les gusta trabajar. That's correct. Or you could say ustedes. A ustedes no les gusta trabajar, and that means you, plural, don't like working. Okay? Ustedes is used in Latin America. Vosotros is used in Spain, and both mean you, plural. Okay? And that's it, guys. That's it. That's it. It's very interesting how this verb works, gustar. And in the next live stream, we're going to talk about the conjugation of this verb. So you can say things in different tenses. We just talked about present tense, but you can be talking about something that happened in the past, right? Something that already happened. So how would you say that, right? How would you say that someone liked something in Spanish? And we will talk about present tense, future tense, imperfect, and conditional tenses. Of course, the most common tenses, okay? And we might talk about the conjugation and different moods as well. If you don't know about moods, Spanish moods, I also have a lesson about that. So please feel free to just browse my channel. And I think there's a search bar that you can find or you can use to find specific videos on my channel. So it's not the usual YouTube search bar. It's below. It's close to the sections of each of the channel. I can show you in another live stream. I can show you how to do that. Maybe you know that already, but just in case, maybe in the future I will show you how to do that. Okay, thank you so much. Do you have any questions, by the way? Thank you for all the nice comments, Free Spirit. And thank you for tuning in. Joshua, also Navin Prasad, and of course Free Spirit. Thank you for tuning in and for just interacting with me. That's amazing. And of course, if you have any questions and if you missed this live stream, you can leave all your questions in the comment section down below. Of course, I'll try my best to answer your questions, but remember that it's better if you ask me while I'm live streaming, because sometimes I don't get a chance to check every comment. But I mean, regardless, you can leave a comment, of course. And but yeah, if you can just remember, or not remember, I invite you to just tuning in for the live streams. I do live stream every Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. Eastern time. So yeah, now you know. Thank you so much, guys, for being here, for being great. And I hope this was helpful. Remember that you can help this channel by giving the thumbs up. Also, you can join our Spanish community on Discord. The link is in the video description down below. And please check out the membership if you get a chance. That would be great. You only need to click on the join button down below. Okay, take care, guys. Have a lovely evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you are. Be safe, cuídense, and I'll see you next time. Adios. Bye-bye.